I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Hey, what's happening? Happy Hump Day. Good afternoon and welcome. This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 Score mobile app. Powered by Happy State Bank, alongside the one and only George Christopher Snead. I'm Chois Woodman. Thomas Dye across the way taking care of us. You can hit us up if you'd like to. Your thoughts, comments, questions, all welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We are watchable on television, Fox 34 News now, YouTube, Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV, however you're taking us in, maybe even that mobile app. You can take that 100.7 The Score mobile app just about anywhere with you, even listening out in Blue Earth, Minnesota. Ayo Sneeder.
What's up?
You survived July 1st. Good to see you here. That's good.
Yeah.
You're going very earthy tones today.
You know what? I haven't had a chance to wear the green golf pants in a while, so
Okay.
got to do that. And
You look very fallish in the spring, but
kind
it feels kind of fallish
day,
outside.
doesn't it?
So
you get the quarter zip vest on.
Yeah,
I love that. By the way,
why? Thank you.
I'm a quarter zip loving dude.
This one from our friends over at the Signature Stag.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
it's weird. The weather's weird. I'm not opposed to it for sure.
I mean, compared to what it could be,
75-degree high in July. So
I mean, it's warmer here than it was in. It's colder here than it was in Colorado Springs and Red River last week.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got 4th of July coming up. I've got what the internet tells us is musts for the perfect 4th of July party. In case you're throwing one, we'll help you out there. We will get into more football chatter, as everybody seems to be putting out some sort of list or another nowadays. So
Do we feel like we need to put out a list?
I mean, we can. I think Clint's going to reveal a poll for us that we're kind of participating around these parts.
When I said that, I was supposed to be working on that.
You haven't done it yet? It's not going to come out till next week.
I know.
So,
I need to get that
so you got
done.
your time.
I got to get that done.
But we will have a Double T Sports Network Big 12 preseason poll. Since we don't have a full-on media poll, we'll give ours and how it is. And I said earlier this week, I go, when I do those sorts of things, I project forward. It's not this team deserves to be here for what they did last year, or this team, this is how I think you will finish the season. So we'll see how everybody else attacked that poll, and we'll have that for you next week. We've got a little basketball talk, a little football talk to get into, more leaking out from. It's not leaks. Do you call it a leak if the origin of it is
the head coach?
Them releasing it? I guess no.
It's not a leak. That would be a release.
So College Football 26 video game, it's not a leak. It's more release from the football game. This time we get quarterback rankings. There are 5 Big 12 quarterbacks in the top 20. 5 of them. So we'll.
Is one wearing a different uniform than he previously was?
You're making me think. Like previously last year?
Yeah. Well,
at least
maybe
one.
even what he was wearing when the game was going to be released originally. Now they have to change it to a new uniform.
Red Sliff did not make the top 5 of the Big 12.
Question: how do they handle a Red Sliff? If Red Sliff ends up at Utah, how do they scramble? Do they put a patch out there? Is that a patch?
In the video game?
Yeah.
They have updates. They'll do that before it even.
Yeah.
I don't know. They probably have their version right now with him as the starter at BYU, and then they'll send up an update like day one after the game comes out. Okay, this is actually where he is. Or maybe they can scramble and do that. I don't know. There's people that are really smart in those technography areas that I can't even fathom. Did you hear Rob put some voodoo on the Red Panda?
Yeah, I kind of heard this. I mean, I saw that, and prayers to the Red Panda who not only didn't hit the cups last night, but also fell and broke her wrist. It looks like.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, and and I know that Chuck Hines is melancholy because that is his halftime show of choice.
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he's only seen her like one time, I think.
In person.
Still, I'm shocked. I mean, she's been here
they don't go to
3 or 4 times, right?
For men's games. She doesn't hit the Lady Raiders game.
Right, but I mean,
he has to be at the men's game at the same time when she's here.
Sure, I get it, but I figured as big of a fan as he is, he would have seen her more than once. I feel like I've seen her 5 times.
I have gotten to the point where I'm kind of scared to watch her now because I'm afraid at some point she's going to mess up.
Well, she's already got that out of the way last night.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be there when she breaks her arm.
I mean, she's in her 60s, right?
Yes.
It's like
I can't do that now. I couldn't do that when I was in my 30s.
It's crazy.
She's just. I wonder. You know what?
Speaking
Could
of
she
video
do that?
games, she's in a video game. She's in like the NBA 2K video games.
I wonder if she can do it with a broken wrist.
I bet she still can. She's flipping with her foot.
Yeah,
so
she's flipping with her foot. She didn't bust her foot up.
She don't really need her hand.
Yeah, just someone to get her up there.
Foot, head, and
I bet you she's not even going to miss a date.
I bet she doesn't.
Take that, Dame Lillard.
She probably put some sort of dressage on the.
Rub some dirt on it.
Maybe a little more than that, but put some fancy.
I know a shaman
Chinese
here in town
inscriptions on the on the cast.
She can go see a shaman here in town and get some cream.
So hopefully, Red Panda is okay.
Yeah.
We're rooting for her. There's some recruiting news out there. Tech's highly involved in a 4-star that we'll announce later today.
Football.
Yes, Donovan Webb will announce later today, and Tech highly involved in a high 4-star safety. Chase Campbell has narrowed his list down to 3 teams. The 4-star out at Friendship, which not necessarily the 3 that everybody was expecting, but Texas Tech is involved. So,
Is that one he just has to do that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, mom works at Tech, so there's.
Well, I mean, just.
But Arkansas wasn't involved in the top 3, which was expected. So we'll chatter a little bit of recruiting today, and plenty of other stuff to get into as we roll along this afternoon. Y'all can bring us your thoughts. We welcome them on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. You got topics you want to get into, we welcome that as well. Hanging with you till 3 o'clock here on this Independence Day Eve. It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks for hanging out with us on a hump day. This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Chois Woodman, Chris Snead here in the First United Bank studio. Y'all continue to chime in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Right now, it's time for Kailey's Dailies.
Caw. Choice.
Snead.
Timothy. Logan. How are you? How y'all doing? All right. It is time for Kailey's Dailies, brought to you each and every day at this time by, of course, me. Suck it, Chuck.
Ayo.
Kailey says, Choice, do you know the first word in the English dictionary?
Aardvark.
That is correct. Yes, aardvark. But what do we know about this first animal listed in Merriam-Webster's? Aardvarks are small, burrowing mammals and can be found in the sub-Saharan environments throughout all of Africa, such as rainforest savannas. Despite their striking similarity to anteaters, they are actually related to
A giraffe?
Elephants.
Dang it.
Yes. They boast brown, furry bodies measuring up to, in feet,
6 feet.
5 feet in length. And they weigh nearly
230 pounds.
200 pounds. God, you overshot it there.
Dang.
Aardvarks
I guess
utilize
I
their
thought
sharp
aardvarks were
claws to
fatter.
dig burrows for shelter, predator protection, and food scavenging. They also utilize their long tongues.
Don't do it.
Okay. Which can... What were you afraid of? Were you afraid of this?
No. Yes, actually.
They utilize their long tongues, which can be reached nearly
2 feet.
a foot outside of their mouth.
That would be really long. 2 feet. I can control my tongue.
Unfortunately, aardvarks are heavily hunted for bushmeat. They also face pressure of bushmeat or steak. Yes. They also face pressure of hunting for their teeth, which are believed to cure illnesses in some cultures.
Wow.
The aardvark.
Okay.
Our friend the aardvark. Number 1 in the dictionary, number 1 in your hearts.
There we go. The aardvark. All right,
Thanks, Kailey.
Yes, thank you. I wonder if she was like busy at work and she's like, oh, what animal today?
She has a new project,
let's look.
which is why she
Okay.
got covered up yesterday. She had a brand new project that was kind of dropped on her at the last minute. So, and she is, the animals, they don't wait.
I wonder if she was like busy and like, what animal today? And she just goes with the first one on the list. Aardvark.
Aardvark.
Let's do that one.
I love it.
Snead.
That's what they call me.
Did you know 4th of July is 2 days away?
I did. Doesn't feel like it, but yes.
Yeah, if you step outside, it doesn't really feel like it.
I always love the 4th of July because my birthday is right around the corner.
According to the internet, there are 4 things you need to have the perfect 4th of July party.
Okay. Are these all food items?
Not all food items. Only one is food encompassing.
Okay.
Classic barbecue foods. So you can go with whatever you want. Burgers, hot dogs, whatever.
Hot dogs.
But you need it all.
You got to have hot dogs.
Hot dogs?
Yeah. I always make burgers and dogs.
Yeah. I mean, I think either or is fine.
Yeah.
So classic barbecue food. If you're going to have a 4th of July party, you have to have one of those. Fireworks.
Yeah.
Obvious.
In my neighborhood, it's we didn't used to do it, but as the kids got a little older, we would go down and get some fireworks, and we would pop a few in the dusk hours. And then in our neighborhood where we live out in the country, you just put your lawn chairs out and let the professionals, the guy that spent $15,000 and a pallet of fireworks showed up at his house, a week ago. Yeah. Those guys. I think there's a volunteer firefighter that lives somewhere in the back of our neighborhood.
Okay.
And those firefighters get together and there's a couple of guys in our neighborhood that spend a ton of money. One dude actually made his own fireworks. Scary. I'm surprised he didn't blow himself up.
That sounds illegal.
Yeah. Well, I think it might be the volunteer firefighter. I don't know.
I could put it out. We're good.
Well, we have seen that truck show up.
Nice. Great music is on the list. You have like a summertime.
I don't have a summertime. I have a mixtape. Mixtape.
Is it a literal tape? You didn't have the cassette player here?
The funny part about it is, in college we had a tape that was made 3 times for 3 rooms, and it was called the party tape, and we all just shared it. We all had the same. But as I've grown older and I've got a playlist now, and there's a lot of those songs on that, it's still called the party tape.
We have the summertime playlist at that house, so it's got like everything you can think of.
Yeah. I have another one called Fly the Country.
Will Smith.
Just put it on and fall asleep on the airplane.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And finally, if you're going to have the perfect 4th of July party, you need outdoor games. Cornhole is always a safe bet.
At our house, we've got cornhole. We've got cowboy golf. I guess the little rope thing. You throw the rope balls against things.
What is that called?
Cowboy golf, I think.
Cowboy golf?
Yeah. It's got the little
ladder ball.
Or cowboy golf, depending where you're at.
Yeah.
So we've got that and cornhole.
So here's a sub list on the same list of best yard games for it. Cornhole, bocce.
No.
Bocce's fun. Wiffle ball.
I'm not 80.
Football.
Wiffle ball.
Yeah. Kickball. You got to have a pretty big group for that.
And you got to have a lot of yard for that.
Horseshoes, badminton, ladder ball.
What about washers?
Lawn darts.
Lawn darts? What are we, is it 1982?
Only in Oklahoma. And croquet.
I never understood
no
the purpose
washers
of lawn
on this
darts.
list.
Is that to throw them up? Because the people apparently try to catch them and they got their eyes put out.
Yeah, apparently they used to just toss them really high. And
people would try to catch them, which was dumb.
Get stabbed by them.
Yeah.
In one way or the other.
I mean, every warning label is a result of somebody doing something dumb.
Of course. And?
I mean,
okay.
People always wonder why that rule book is so thick.
Because people do something.
Because everything in there is something that someone had to legislate out of the game because somebody did it once.
Okay, no grasping of the face mask.
No. Hey, remember when we were all giggling about Dan Lanning doing the old send the 12th man onto the field?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we got a rule change for that.
Next week.
Yeah, we got a rule change for that bad boy now.
Yeah,
got a rule change for feigning injuries. Finally, may have a way to get people to stop doing that. Check out this week's rules of the game.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's no longer the way that rule reads now. If the ball is set down by the officials and anybody on your team gets hurt, all of a sudden, and I did the air quotes. Someone gets on your team gets hurt, you're taking a timeout. Period. And that player's got to leave. And if you don't have a timeout, now it's a 5-yard penalty.
Let's see. Quick update, by the way. Tech Baseball has 3 of their former players that have landed at new spots.
Okay.
In case anybody's interested. You can always keep up with
where do they land?
The transfer portal tracker up at doubleTSportsNetwork.com. We have that.
Okay.
No. I'm saying you can keep up with that, but I'll inform you here too. Dylan Maxey, we know that one.
Houston.
He landed in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Boudreau landed in Alabama.
Of all the guys that went in, that's the guy that I wanted to stick around.
And Zach Fetchel at Rice.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there was one other. Steven Sepulveda, which wasn't even on your roster.
Who?
UTRGV.
Sepulveda.
Sepulveda. Pretty sure I'm saying it right.
Sepulveda?
Sepulveda.
Vera. Sepulveda?
Yeah, if you're white. Which Snead very much is. Check it out on Fox 34 News now.
Whoa!
Sarcasm.
I mean, if you're watching the guy on the left, I'm the black guy.
What? When did this happen? Have a good rest of your day. Have a good 4th.
I'll see you when I see you.
It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's a Wednesday with the bottom line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. 100.7 The Score mobile app. Choice, Jeff, Logan, and Thomas with you this afternoon. You can keep hitting us up if you'd like to do so. Your thoughts and comments welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll get back to a few of those coming up shortly. Bob Kirby says when you drink a couple of beers per hole on the golf course, you tend to pee off in the woods quite a bit. Yeah. Look at the Jinx King defending the Jinx Prince. I'm the king over the prince. Rob's just a prince. Come on. He took the title from me. It's okay.
I think that still checks out for the moment. I think he's gaining on you fast.
Nah, it's gone. There's no Jinx anymore.
You will still
I passed
forever.
It off to him. I passed it off to him.
You will still forever have the title of a Jinx. Whether you're the Jinx King or not can be decided.
We're good.
You literally went on the air and said there's no way the Rangers would do something, and 5 minutes later they did it.
If Texas Tech plays in a college football playoff this year, it goes away. So I'm already saying they're going to.
But that hasn't happened yet.
I'm saying that's when it will go away.
So if they don't, does it get to stay?
It remains, yeah.
Okay.
Especially if something really bad happens during the season, like a major injury or something that keeps you from it, then that probably saddles it even more upon me. Jeff, I want to get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
Because there's both basketball and football conversation here. We'll start with the basketball. As ESPN has gone through, and they've got their early top 25 rankings out for college basketball. And Texas Tech's 10 and has been 10 on this list for a little bit. They've gone through and given their impact newcomer for each of the top 25 teams. They also have a projected starting lineup. Mm-hmm. It's pretty interesting. They have Christian Andersen, who's been playing for Germany over in the U19 World Cup.
And they are winning 57. That's not a live game.
No, this isn't live. They've already won.
This was already earlier today, yeah.
They already won this one. This is a replay.
Did the U.S. win today?
They did.
Okay.
Badly. I think it was 140-67.
Oh, they won. Okay. When you said badly, I was like, was it like a 2-point win? Okay.
Like almost 100.
Okay.
So Christian Andersen, Donovan Atwell, Lawan Watts, JT Toppin, and Luke Bamboye are the starting five they have projected.
Okay.
4 of those 5 averaged 10 points a game or more last year, including Christian Andersen. But if you were to, do you have the roster pulled up by any chance?
I don't, but I can get the roster pulled up.
You can.
I know where it hides.
If you were to take a guess or make your own guess at who you think is Texas Tech's biggest impact newcomer for this roster. So obviously JT Toppin and Christian Andersen off the board on this question. But if you were to guess who the biggest impact newcomer on this roster will be, who would you set it at?
That is a solid question.
Because mine would line up with what ESPN said here. The options are obviously 3 of those that we already mentioned in their projected starting 5. And Luke Bamboye, Lawan Watts, Donovan Atwell. You also have Tyree Bryan from Santa Clara. You got Josiah Mosley from Villanova. Nolan Groves, the freshman from Minnesota. And Mario Kuntak.
Man. I'm going to go with the guy from Villanova. Would be who I think is going to be the biggest impact. If I was just to pick one blind right now.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess he's got the experience. He's got the know-how. He's been on a successful program. Been at a successful program before. That's where I would go. Where are you along with the list?
I and ESPN went with Lawan Watts.
Okay. I think Watts would be my second pick. Basically,
Lawan Watts is your replacement for Darian Williams. Looks very similar games. There's not one-to-one on the comparison, but there's some definite similarities. Guy that can shoot as well as play big. And kind of that hybrid forward, I think he would be my pick. And I think you slot him in trying to make him be exactly what Darian Williams was for you. Darian Williams, what you know he had last year was a clutch gene. He made a lot of big shots for you, had some big moments, and not just last year. 2 seasons for Texas Tech, we've seen this. So with that, I think that those are some big shoes to fill for Lawan Watts. The second one I would pick...
Do you think one person's going to fill those shoes? Or do you think it's going to be a group effort?
I think it could be a group effort.
I really do, too. I think a lot of guys are going to step up.
I think in terms of style of play, Watts fills those shoes well. I think in terms of being a clutch guy, Christian Andersen might take over the clutch role for you on the team. Or who knows?
JT.
We haven't got to see from Atwell. We haven't got to see from Brian some of these sharpshooters that you supposedly have. The Nolan Groves kid is apparently one that is catching some eyes in the summer. So the other one I think is going to be a big impact guy is Mariel Akuntak, the guy he's already been here for a semester.
Okay.
I have been told right now he is already going to give you at least, if not more, than Federico gave you in the same position. I think Akuntak will start.
I'm a fan of Federico. I wanted him to do well here. He did not give you much. You saw some flashes.
Right. I mean,
but it wasn't
consistent.
It wasn't consistent.
I think Akuntak, as a freshman, will step in and give you what that senior gave you next year.
Okay.
And you don't have to have him give you a lot.
No.
You need him to be a good defender, and you need him to rebound.
Those are not big.
And occasionally be a good offensive player.
Those are not huge shoes to fill, but they're good shoes to fill, I guess is the way to put it.
Yep. We got a just stop choice. Okay.
I mean, that does check out.
For what?
You are still the Jynx until proven otherwise.
No.
You might not be the king anymore, but until proven otherwise. And if Texas Tech plays in the college football playoff, then you can remove that title. But they haven't yet, so. And I think that's fair.
Let's see. This from the chat line. Where'd it go? Will Texas Tech land Donovan Webb today? What % chance would you say Chase Campbell has at landing at Tech? So Donovan Webb, the safety, announces at some point today. I'm not sure when. He's supposed to announce on Dave Campbell's website. I would guess, yes, Texas Tech gets him. He's a high 4-star safety, which we like those. And Campbell, I don't know. Campbell announced yesterday that he is down to Texas Tech, Baylor, and Kansas State. If you would have asked me this a month ago, I would have said Arkansas was surely in that group, but apparently not. I would tell you Baylor's the favorite right now. And I hope he ends up at Texas Tech because I think he is a phenomenal talent, and you like to get the guys in the backyard, but we've seen it a number of times. Sometimes guys would rather move to different places away from home, and that might be the most determining factor there. And Campbell, remember, grew up a good chunk of his childhood in Waco. So if Chase ends up in Waco, wouldn't be surprised. I think Texas Tech is second on that list right now, but we'll see. Hopefully he does land in Lubbock. It's the bottom line. Y'all keep chiming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Another question there, and I've got a question. Question of the day coming up next. It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks for hanging with us on a hump day. This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. 100.7 The Score mobile app brought to you by Happy State Bank. Alongside Jeff McGuire. I'm Chois Woodman. Got Thomas Dye across the way handling us. We will continue to get some of your thoughts on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. You were talking about your elite level of fame earlier. I mean,
not mine.
But you must be pretty famous, like Travis Kelce famous.
I'm not Travis Kelce famous.
Shout out to our personal favorite coach, Todd Petty, who's out there listening today.
Oh, is he?
Well, he's someone's favorite coach. I don't know if he's...
No, I didn't know he's... as in listening.
Yeah.
I like Todd Petty.
Someone likes him.
I like Todd Petty.
Yeah, probably.
I didn't know he was listening. Hey, Coach, how are you? What did he say?
Oh, that's it.
He just said hi? Is that all what it was?
Yeah.
Or are you just making up that Todd Petty's listening?
That's possible, too. Let's get to a question.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by someone not named Jamie and presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
I'm so disappointed in you. I was like pumped that Coach was listening, and now
He could be. You'll never know.
But I don't know. But you gave me the impression that he was.
Jeff, ESPN posted their sleeper players for each of their top 25 football teams going into 2025.
Okay.
So I need you to pull up your football roster for our question today. Thomas, you could pull your football roster up as well. They go through with each of their top 25 teams, which I'd forgotten who all's in ESPN's top 25. BYU is their highest ranked team. I wonder if that's changed. They had them at 10. They had Arizona State at 12, Iowa State at 14, and Texas Tech is the fourth highest ranked Big 12 team at 16. I want you to tell me who your sleeper player would be. And this can't be someone that I think has been listed on any first-team All-Big 12 lists.
So you're saying Ben Roberts, Jacob Rodriguez, those guys are out.
I think David Bailey, Jacob Rodriguez, Caleb Douglas. I'm trying to think of who else would be in the upper echelon in terms of players. Those are probably the ones right there. So who do you have as a sleeper player for Texas Tech that isn't getting talked about a lot necessarily? I'll tell you who ESPN's is after you give your answer. And who's the guy that's not getting talked about a lot, but will be talked about a lot at the end of the season in your mind? By the end of the season.
Okay, so this is a little hard, and I think I've had this conversation with you before, because I want a story to happen. And wanting it enough doesn't make it happen, but if I keep putting the thought out there that the story itself would help everyone involved. And for a sleeper pick of somebody we're not talking about this year, but we have spent a ton of time talking about, and the story of his Phoenix-like rise would be so much fun for the media to get a hold of.
Out of the ashes.
And that would be Micah Hudson.
I think that definitely qualifies as a sleeper.
Because if
it'd
he
be a
can
heck
come
of a
in,
story too. Yeah.
Yeah, if he can come in and just be a solid number 2 receiver. Like, he doesn't have to be your leading receiver. He doesn't have to be, I mean, he'd have to have enough numbers to be, all Big 12, probably second or third team, right? Or honorable mention, whichever one that is. Mm-hmm. But if he were to come in and kind of put up those numbers, which it looks like you are going to be throwing the ball a little bit more because you're not going to have Taj Brooks back there anymore, that story alone would be an absolute blast to be a part of. It's the part 2 of the Dakota Allen story.
Okay.
Where
A little different stories, but the comeback. Sure.
But the comeback of the went away.
The weirdest
some
part
things
of it
out.
is he went away and
he's back.
He's back the next season.
Sure.
So it's I completely
But also
agree
didn't
with you.
give you anything the first year.
Right. You were expecting big things, and he caught, 5 passes last year?
Yes.
Did impress at times, but still, I think that absolutely would be a qualifier. So you think that will happen,
That's
or
what
what
I'm going to want to happen, so that's the one answer I'm going with.
Okay.
Because I think that would and sometimes the media just wants a fun story.
All right, Thomas, who's your sleeper?
Well, I was going to say the same thing, but I'll switch it up a little bit. I'll go with Quentin Joyner, just so we have another running back to just rely on instead of – because, I think everyone knows that we're going to be throwing the ball around. And so I think having a back like Quentin Joyner, and if he's able to do at least a little bit of what Taj was able to do, I think that'll be pretty cool.
This all, piles into what do you define as a sleeper pick?
Sure.
Because I think Quentin Joyner is probably your starting running back. I think he's going to be a committee guy for the most part.
But the lead
I
of
think
that committee.
He's going to be the lead. And ESPN's guy that they have here, I don't know that I would qualify it as a sleeper, but they've got him as Tech's sleeper. Romello Height. He's not being talked about a bunch, and largely because we would be talking about him a lot more if David Dailey didn't come in this spring.
Yeah.
He would have been one of the highlight stories, no question. But David Dailey did come in this spring, and Romello Height, I guess, has been overshadowed a little by it. The catch is he was the 5th highest rated edge rusher out of the portal. Mm-hmm. So this isn't a nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had some big games at Georgia Tech and other places.
He's the Charles Haley of the triplets from the Cowboys in the 90s.
So here's the blurb they wrote up real quick on Romello Height. It says, as a transfer from Georgia Tech, Height is not necessarily unknown, but for as bad as the Texas Tech defense was last season, only Tulsa allowed
they
more
have to remind us?
Passing yards. The Red Raiders allowed 35 points or more 8 different times last year. Ouch.
We were there.
Height could play a massive role in Lubbock if he's able to help fix what was a painful watch for Texas Tech fans at times in 2024. The more high-profile transfer on the defensive line is unquestionably David Dailey, who comes from Stanford, but Height could very well become a name the Red Raider fans will be familiar with, given his potential. So I don't really – I mean, it's one of those that I guess you could call it a sleeper. If I was going in that same vein – my answer would probably go Cole Wisniewski, because I think he's not necessarily a sleeper, but I do think he's going to have a big season. I think he's in that same realm.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to go more of a reach.
A true sleeper, yeah.
As crazy.
Let's get nuts. Do it.
As it may be to put a quarterback as a sleeper, Baron Morton absolutely could be a sleeper to have a big season if you're going from a Big 12 standpoint. He's listed as
Can you
middle
be
of the pack.
A 4-year starter and be a sleeper pick?
Probably not. Another one that's like, okay, what are you defining as sleeper?
And I know he wasn't the starter for every game for 4 years. I get it, okay? But he has started games for you for 4 years.
Uh-huh. All accurate. Yeah,
He's a known commodity in the Big 12. Do I hope that he has a better year than he had last year? Absolutely.
No, I think the one, that's what if I'm getting to pick who I want, I like your Micah Hudson one, but I want Baron Morton to be your...
Well, I imagine if Micah Hudson is your pick,
breakout.
Baron Morton had a good year too.
But I don't think that's going to be... I don't think that's fair to call Baron Morton a sleeper. The one I'd go with is John Curry.
Okay.
I think John Curry has been highly talked about by his coaches. I think he has taken a next step and may even work his way into a starting lineup in the middle linebackers, interior linebackers. So I think Curry will have a really, really good season. And he may be one of your most well-rounded linebackers in terms of playing the pass and the run. Y'all can chime in with yours. A few of you already have. We'll give you a dad joke of the day coming up next on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Got about a half hour left with you. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Happy 4th of July Eve. Alongside...
We're going Eve.
It is an Eve.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's where we're going.
I'm about to say you're wrong. That's Jeff McGuire. I'm Chois Woodman. Thomas across the way.
You might not. You might agree with me.
Jeff has our statement for Tell Me I'm Wrong. What do you got today?
All right, gentlemen. So Texas Tech athletics had a pretty good year last year.
I would agree with that.
You had a football team make a bowl game after a 7-5 regular season. You had a men's basketball team go to the Elite Eight. You had Women's College World Series championship run, like to the championship game, and got within one game of bringing home the big trophy. You had women's tennis winning Big 12 titles, track and field winning men's and women's Big 12 titles, both indoor and outdoor. My statement for you today. Texas Tech Athletics will have more Big 12 titles next season than they had this season.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. Now it's time. So you had
I think we came up with 8.
8 total.
4 for track and field.
And we're counting regular season and
Tournament.
Yes. Tournament titles.
Because that's how softball got 2.
Softball got 1.
2. Regular season and
right, but
postseason.
tennis got 2 as well.
Yeah.
So you had 2 tournament titles, right?
Yes.
So 6 regular season, 2 tournament. Let's go through. You're saying more than. Let's go through and see who.
Not equal, more.
Of teams that I'd say right now you have a decent chance of competing for a Big 12 title. I would say men's basketball will be there. I'd say men's golf is in the conversation. Women's tennis is back there. I think they're reloading and have some back from last year. Football, you will be definitely in the mix. Track and field, always.
I haven't heard Wes Kitley retiring.
Women had their best season, so we'll see if they can repeat. Softball, obviously. And soccer, I think you're going to be really good next year. 8's a lot.
It is. And you're going to have more than 8 next year. To say I'm wrong. To say I'm right.
I think you match it.
You think you match?
I'm going to go 8.
So you're saying I'm wrong because you think it's going to be 8.
I'm saying you're wrong just because that's an enormous amount.
It is.
And I don't think you're going to sweep both track and fields again next year. That's something you've never done before, and that would be hard to do. You got half of the Big 12 titles from track and field.
You did.
So sweeping in men's and women's in both indoor and outdoors is tough to do. And just staying healthy is what makes that tough to do.
Right.
So I'm going to say you're wrong. I'll root for you to be right.
Well, yeah. Everybody's rooting for me to be right.
I would agree. I think we'll match it, but I think we get one in football and then replace one from, tennis or something. I don't know.
So you think he's right?
I think you have the potential to not only win the ones you won last year, men's football, obviously, because there's no women's football. I think you could win one in soccer.
That is astute.
I think you could win one and possibly 2 in basketball on the men's side.
Okay.
You have the returning Big 12 Player of the Year. You have a coach that has consistently got a roster together as he has been here and got those guys to buy in extremely quickly. I am done underestimating what Grant McCaslin can do. First year he got here, I just wanted relevant basketball again after the final year with Mark Adams. That's all I wanted. What happened? You finished third? Tied for third?
You were really good. Tied for third, yep.
Last year. Cool. Well, you're coming back and you've got a new roster. And okay, so we're thinking like 5th, 4th areas where we thought we'd finish. Where'd Tech finish?
Second.
Yeah, done underestimating him.
Only team to beat the team that finished first, too.
Yeah. And that's not to say that Houston won't be good or Kansas won't be good or whoever you want to insert here, because the Big 12 is tough in men's basketball, but you have as good of a shot as anybody else does in that conversation.
I think, Jeff, if you're into the stair-step theory or you think that you're climbing, then absolutely you're scheduled to finish first this year, third, second, and first. I think there's a lot that you could finish. I would guess you have top 3 finishes in both postseason and tournaments and regular season, probably in 15 different things, or 15 different top 3 finishes. But conference championships are elusive.
They are hard to get, and we don't have a ton of them over here. But no one says you can't win them all. It's not against the rules.
Last year was...
And football success doesn't mean basketball can't have success.
I think last year was your second best athletic year ever at Texas Tech as a whole.
Yeah.
2019 is probably number 1 when we're just going by successes all over the place. You had a Final Four trip and you had a College World Series trip in there.
And the sports matter.
Big 12 titles in both of those sports.
I'm not taking anything away from what softball did this past year, but the baseball run was bigger with Tim Tadlock. That's not to say that it wasn't huge for softball this year, because it was.
Yeah, but I mean, you're playing in a national championship game. Chance to win it all.
Football matters the most.
It's fun that you get to have these conversations, though. That they're legit, viable conversations that could happen. And we weight football, we put so much more weight on the sport of football. So I do think that if football goes and plays in or wins a Big 12 championship, then that makes everything feel that much better, because football matters that much to all the other sports.
Bullfighter, you're trying to show us something? If you'll at me and a tweet on it. It's not showing up.
Don't at me.
That's why I said at me.
Steven says Southeast Alaska is beautiful. It only rains 300 inches a year in Ketchikan. Only way to get there: fly or Alaska Marine Highway system or ferry. Oh, ferry. Yeah, I've been in that area. Love it, and it does rain a lot.
Did you see the message we got? Jamie wants the link for Alaska.
Yes.
Did you send it to him?
I have not sent it to him.
Good point.
Because I want him to stay.
I want him to stay.
Aaron says, driving through West Virginia today. Thanks for listening. It's a gorgeous state, and $12,000 there is a fortune. Yeah, that does make sense. $12,000 there could go a long way. Looks like I'm about to be a mountaineer. Big Beard 97.3 is a great radio station I hear there. It's from Bullfighter. Tulsa is the Oklahoma exception. Great city, except they don't have many left turning lanes. Okay. See, we're here to learn about all of it. All right, keep chiming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. BYU got some interesting quarterback news. Not the Retzlaff thing, but apparently on the Pat McAfee show, their 5-star incoming quarterback Ryder Lyons apparently said he is going to serve so there were people talking about this 5-star quarterback coming in, like, hey, maybe he can reclassify to be their quarterback this year. There's chatter about that. But he says that he's going to do his Mormon mission, and he won't even step foot on campus until 2027. So instead of potentially being the 2025 quarterback, they will not have him for an extra year. So it's reclassifying the wrong direction. So BYU's had all sorts of quarterback news over the last few days.
I love these issues.
These issues for them?
Yeah.
It's
I only don't for one reason. It's the people that relish in this, that they're like, oh, what's going on? That's when it hits you. I don't like it for anybody, because I don't like it for us.
Well, that one's not bad. I mean, he's going on his Mormon mission.
He's still, but
that's
the whole
common
thing.
to BYU. They're used to it. And I'm sure the coaches already knew that. He just made it publicly known there. So the bottom line, we'll bring you most interesting facts of the day coming up next on 100.7 The Score.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.